Hey guys, what's going on? It's Colin here again, back with another fan video. This is actually going to be an initial checkout video, as Jordan likes to call them. I don't normally do these, but I figured, hey, I haven't put out some fan content for a while, and I'm a little short on it right now, so I figured I could record a quick video, and that would be better than no video. So here we are. Also, if the video and audio quality sounds different, that's because I'm on my phone, because I didn't think to bring my camcorder with me because I wasn't planning on doing this. And this fan is currently residing at my grandfather's place. But anyways, what this is an absolute behemoth of a box fan. It is a Lasko Box fan. I'm not sure of the model number because the tag on the bottom is completely gone, much like the badge on the front. But this is about as far as you can get from those piece of crap modern Lasko Box fans, the 3733s or whatever the hell the number is. I don't even know. I hate those things. But yeah, this is about as far away from them as you can get. This is what Lasko actually used to make. Imagine that. Lasko actually used to make good fans. But yeah, much like the Lao Ultra 20 that I have, I'll leave a card up here for those of you guys who haven't seen that video. This is a very beefy, feature-packed box fan dating probably from the late 50s, maybe early 60s. And this was actually a Facebook Marketplace find. I got this for $20. So while I really shouldn't be buying any more fans, and my parents actually don't know that I bought this one yet, I had to go get this because it was not far away either. I just could not turn this down because it's a very unique box fan. And I'll get rid of a couple other fans that I don't care as much about, and I'll just say I bought this one then, and we'll be all good. Don't tell them. But yeah, this is a very unique box fan. It's got a lot of interesting features and whatnot. But Jordan, if you're watching, this is also kind of a response to you and for you and to my comment that I made on your video. Because for those of you guys who haven't seen, well, for those of you guys who don't know who that is, I'll leave a link down below. But I'm imagining all you guys know who Jordan Yu is. If you don't, go check that out. Go check him out now. He makes a lot of really good fan videos. But he actually just picked one of these up too, so I figured he could get a kick out of this and see what I was talking about in my comment on his video. But anyways, for those guys who didn't see that video, this is a 2-speed, reversible, electrically reversible, thermostat-controlled, oscillating box fan. And most people don't realize that box fans ever oscillated, and that's because not many did. I believe that Lasko was the only one to ever do this, and I think they did it in 2 different styles. I don't remember which one came first, but one style is like this, where some of you guys may have noticed there's all these vertical louvers here, and the louvers will go back and forth like this, which I'll show you in a little bit, and they'll direct the airflow back and forth. So it's not really oscillating, but it's moving the air back and forth, and it actually does a really damn good job. The other style, which is a little more unique, the fan itself actually oscillates. The entire motor and fan blade goes like this inside the cabinet. I believe Mr. Whiskey Lizard here on YouTube, Mike Mirren, has one of those, or he had one. There's a video on his channel. I'll see if I can put a link to that down below also, because that is certainly unique. But even this design is kind of unique. But this fan is in remarkable condition as well. As you can probably tell, there's a few scuffs and scrapes, and the handle rubber is completely deteriorated. But that happens on a lot of fans from this vintage. But otherwise, it is in amazing shape. And that's another good reason I had to get this thing. Hell, even the 5-year warranty sticker is still on the top. That's something you don't see nowadays. You'd be lucky if a modern fan lasted 5 months, let alone 5 years. So they definitely don't do that anymore. Excuse me. But yeah, this is one hell of a box fan, and it was a pretty good score, and I'm very happy with it. So I obviously just showed you guys the oscillator, or the oscillating function. If you look back in here, I'll try and show it when it's running too. There is a little shaded pole motor back in there, and there's some gears and stuff there, and there is a arm, an offset there with an arm. That's what moves these back and forth. So this thing here will be spinning, and that will move these louvers back and forth like so. And it does a really damn good job of moving the air back and forth. It's quite impressive. Obviously, we got 4 metal blades. I think the hub is steel. I don't know about the blades. I didn't put a magnet to them yet. big old Westinghouse motor, I believe. I'm gonna spin this around so we can get a little light on the tag here. Yeah, Westinghouse Electric. That's the tag. I don't know how much. I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see this or how well you're gonna be able to see it. But something interesting Jordan pointed out, which I did not notice on mine until now. This is only rated for a couple amps. I forget exactly how many it is, so pardon the camera work here. I believe that says 1.1 amps. Yes, this fan motor is rated at 1.1 amps for this giant metal box fan. So, as unusual and shocked as unusual as it would be, and as shocked as I would be to see it, I'm really strongly considering that this is a PSC motor. That's permanent split capacitor, so it has capacitor. It's not shaded pole. That is very unusual for a box fan like this, but also at the same time, with how well built and how well designed this fan is, I also wouldn't be surprised. But there's no way that a shaded pole motor of that size and this size fan would only draw 1 amp, 1.1. That is only slightly more current than a modern box fan, too, by the way. So you tell me which one's better for the environment and more efficient. The one that draws a little less current but only lasts 2 months before it goes into the garbage, or the one that draws a touch more current but lasts almost 60 years and still has a lot of life left in it. The cord is nice and long, which is always nice. I hate the box fans and fans in general with these dinky short cords. This has got to be a nice 6-foot cord. And the plug is original. And it's not cracked or anything. The cord is nice and flexible. It's not cracked or broken anywhere. Very nice. Just 2 prongs. Not grounded, obviously. I didn't care about safety as much back then. And another thing that's unique, you may have noticed that the motor was mounted to the grill. Well, you may not have noticed is that this grill is actually mounted on rubber. It's rubber isolated to keep the vibrations from going that are caused by the fan blade and motor from going into the cabinet. And as a result, this thing is extremely quiet. Most of the rattling comes from this handle and maybe a little bit from the front grill. But yeah, everything works. I was kind of intrigued though. In Jordan's video, his seems to run a hell of a lot faster than mine. So if this is in fact a PSC motor, which I think it is, my capacitor might be going, and it might be causing it to run a bit slower. But then again, his motor was a little bit different because his has oil ports. This one actually does not have oil ports as far as I can see. So that would make this a permanently lubricated motor, which is what they do today. But the difference is, as you'll see, these bearings are still perfect, and this thing is almost 60 years old, if not older than that. So Lasko definitely knew how to build a damn good box fan at one point, but they certainly don't anymore. Hell, even these knobs aren't even friction. They've got set screws in them. So this thing is built like a tank. I don't even know how much this weighs. It's got to be freaking like 40 pounds at least. But I'd imagine this was a pretty pricey fan back in the day. But you would certainly have gotten your money's worth. But with that, figure we go ahead and fire this thing up. It does have something as a startup sound. So I'm going to put you guys back here and we're going to start up on high intake. There you go. The oscillator's on, so I'm going to turn that off for a second here. I did not get it where I wanted it. There we go. This seems a bit slow to me, and I thought that when I first got the thing, but I had nothing to compare it to. But after comparing it to Jordan's, I'm pretty sure this is pretty slow. This seems more like it would be like a medium or a low speed for a box fan this size, not a high. But then again, this thing is really throwing out the air with how slow it's going. I mean, let's see if I can. Here's a plastic bag. It's like a big leaf bag, just blowing it away. There it goes across the garage. I'll do the wind noise here. Certainly is moving a hell of a lot of air, but it still seems a touch slow to me. So I think, as I mentioned before, I'm pretty sure this is a permanent split capacitor motor, a PSC motor, and I'm pretty sure my capacitor might be going bad. But we will engage the oscillations here. It's got a nice clunky, clicky button, and I love it. And there you go. You can see the louvers moving back and forth there. And it really does a good job. Here, I'll get a shot of this mechanism up here. This fan is also remarkably clean. Somebody must have cleaned this thing in its lifespan, or it wasn't used very much, because it is very clean. I will say, as good as the motor bearings are, the motor that moves the louver sounds a bit dry. But I can feel this thing, strong breeze all the way across the garage. And the oscillating does a really good job, because I can stand all the way over here, and it feels like I'm standing straight in front of the thing. And it keeps going back and forth. And in fact, it moves so much air that it's still pushing air at me, even when the louvers are pushing the other way. Like, it's moving so much air that the air actually catches up. And there's only a very short gap of air when I'm over here. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm a little tired, so... You know, the air keeps moving even when the louvers are going that way, because it has to catch up. It's still pushing some of the air. You know, it's kind of delayed. I probably just made that explanation worse. But we'll have to roll with it here. Let's go down to low. Again, I think this thing is running a touch slow, but it is extremely quiet on low. You can hardly hear it running. I would definitely use this fan for sleeping with. And it's still throwing a lot of air, but it's also much more gentle. And you can probably hear the gears up there sound a bit dry, and the motor bearings up there sound a bit dry. But we'll go up to high here, and I'll show you just how impressive this spin down is. Those rubber isolators work really well too, by the way. This handle is pretty much the only thing that vibrates. Maybe a tiny bit from the front grille. But otherwise this thing is silent. And it really doesn't vibrate at all. But get a load of this spin down. Well, I'm not used to recording on my phone. I accidentally hit the stop button, so let's do a spin down here from high. Again, keep in mind these bearings are permanently lubricated from the factory, so they have not been oiled in over 60 years. And this is what the spin down is like. This fan actually has a better spin down without having been oiled in that long than some of my fans, which I have just serviced, do. It's crazy. Blades just keep spinning and spinning and spinning. So obviously the fan doesn't need oil that badly, but obviously when I go through it I'll oil it anyways, just for the heck of it. Give it another 60 plus years. But that is quite an impressive spin down, and even more impressive, again, when you consider these are permanently lubricated bearings. But just quickly, we'll start it up on reverse here. It works just as well. It's got that nice multi-tone startup sound too, which everybody likes. Obviously the oscillation function doesn't really work on reverse, and it's actually a touch louder on reverse, but it's not that big of a deal. Moves about the same amount of air though, which is kind of unusual. Go down the low. Oh, and by the way, the thermostat does work. You can see it just kicked it off. It's actually labeled on and off, which is kind of cool. And we'll shut it down. So yeah, I figured I'd just do a quick initial checkout video for you guys. I'm just looking down here. Cord doesn't even look at all broken down there, which is nice. Usually they snap off there. But yeah, this is definitely one hell of a fan and one hell of a good find. I'm very happy. Very excited to get working on this one. But I just figured I'd put something out there. Might not get to it for a few weeks, but I'll get to it eventually, and it should be a pretty fun one to work on. Definitely something unique. But anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for that final video. And as always, if you like what you see, hit the little like and subscribe buttons. Go check out Jordan Yu's channel if you haven't already. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.